In this video, I want to show you a really effective lymphatic drainage massage technique and routine that you can do in the morning. I do this always when I wake up puffy in the morning, and it is really effective for me. So yeah, I hope you give it a try. We're gonna start by opening up our lymph nodes. So first, pump a little bit under your armpits. Then we are going to gently massage around the collarbones. I like to do both under the collarbones and then also above the collarbones. I do really light circular movements, but you can also do this a little bit differently. For example, you could just pump. You can also tap if you want to. That also works. So it's really up to you. Then the important point here is right here, not too close to the clavicle, a little bit out and a little bit up. I'm just going to rub here or tap lightly. And then we're going to work our way up. What I like to do as well is just tap under the chin. I like to do it with the back of my fingers. Just feels a bit easier. Very lightly. This is just to open up the lymph nodes, to kind of activate them before we start draining and moving the fluid. Now, just under the ears, like under the earlobe around here, circles or pressing or tapping. Then we do in front of the ears. We can rub. Again, we can just press. Behind the ears as well. You can even do like scissor fingers and do it in front and behind. Many people like rubbing. I even like to pull my ears a little bit. If you have seen this hack with the hairband, it's nothing but the hairband, the hairband hack with the lymphatic drainage, you know, where people just put hairbands around the ears. Basically, it's the same as if you do this. You just can like move your ears a little bit. If that's uncomfortable or you don't want to do it, then don't. But I find it quite nice. So I just like to stretch my ears into all direction and put together and just work around this ear area quite nicely. Then we go into the temple area. We are going to also do next to the corners of the mouth, next to the nose, and then also important, which many people don't show, I feel like, is doing in the back here. We have more lymph nodes in around here as well, so we're gonna open up this a little bit. Okay, and then we may start. So a lymphatic drainage massage is a very gentle massage, so we're gonna literally just very gently begin to kind of swipe down. I don't need to use oil for that. Actually, it's quite helpful when the skin very lightly stretches, and you want to do this quite slowly. I see people often do it like too fast, and it's not necessary to rush this process. Actually, it's good to do it a little bit slower. We're gonna work the under chin area out towards the lymph nodes, and then you can go gently down. Very light, feather light pressure, yeah? You could do all of this with oil if you prefer that. But I feel like oftentimes I don't have the time to put oil on and then take all that oil off again. So I just prefer to do it on my dry skin. Then we have some lymph vessels going down here as well. So very lightly, we're gonna bring it down here and drain. Very lightly. You don't want to pull, obviously, the skin down, but this is lymphatic drainage, so we're just going to do it so feather light. Just bring it down. And then from here, sideways. Going all the way out. can again do a few circles and go down. Very, very lightly. Another thing I like to do here, because sometimes it feels better just do one side at a time, I like to one hand use it to support, and then with the other hand I feel like I can normally see in the mirror almost like I'm, you know, pressing that liquid, that fluid out of the cells, out of the skin, and bringing it down. I find that to be very effective. It also nicely stretches the skin just to give that space for the lymph nodes. It's not about stretching the skin in a bad way. Skin always bounces back. It needs to be stretched for with massage. You would need to massage for years, every day, for hours to overstretch your skin. What does stretch the skin is having too much puffiness, swelling, bloating in your face. And if that stays there all the time for years and years, that's going to actually stretch your skin. So it's good to get rid of it. In my opinion, you can get, you know, do a nice lymphatic drainage, but on the long term, we need to work also on our fascia system so that in the first place, the lymph pathways don't get blocked. So if you need help with that, I have a course called the fascia-based where I explain all of that, and some more videos on my YouTube channel here that you can watch for free and follow along. So now let's do the eye area. And I figured out, because my eye always on one side is a bit more swollen than the other. So I like to first go kind of out and drain it this way. Again, I like to support and do one side at a time. You can go nice and slow, even better. Don't try not to rush unless you're in a really big rush in the morning or whenever you want to get rid of this puffiness. You might need to do it faster or like less repetitions, really slow. But one thing I noticed when I was doing my own under eyes is that actually it quite helped to go inwards as well and bring it down to the lymph vessels here next to the nose. So I would sometimes even like go right under my lower eyelashes very gently and bringing that down here. And basically a lot of swelling and puffiness is drained. This from down here, it's gonna go down, and a lot of the upper portion is drained out and down the neck, and some of it even backwards over the head and into these lymph nodes in the back. This is why we opened them. So let's do the other side. Support here, and then you can try and bring it so that it can drain through here. I would suggest trying different ways. For me, that worked much better than draining it like it always is shown out towards the temples. It seemed like for me, the other way around, the other pathway did a better effect. Maybe for you it's different. And then we can do very gentle upper eye towards the temple and down. Towards the temple and down. Do as many repetitions as you need. Just be very, very gentle and soft. Again, I do recommend combining this with having a routine of deep tissue massage and deep fascia release, because this is what ultimately is gonna help you do not get puffy in the first place. But this is a post for another day. And then we can do the forehead, simply going out and slowly, slowly, slowly down. Again. Again, if you don't like the sensation of skin without oil, then just use some oil. But I know that it's quite effective also to do this without oil. I will probably at some point post another video about a version with oil. One more time on each cheek. Maybe both sides at the same time. You could also press out like this. So it's not one only right way. You can do all sorts of different strokes and ways, and many of them will have a good effect. You should definitely try and see what works best for your face, your individual face. To finish off, I like to one more time give a little boost to the lymph nodes. So I'm going to just one more time circle around the nose, circle around the mouth, do in front of my ears, temples as well. Press under the jawline, under the chin, or tap, and then work my way down. Do a few circles around here, and if you want, one more press under the armpits, and we are done. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know, and have a nice day. Bye.